Have you thought about it? Why is it that Nigel Farage may now just sit back for a while and say thank you to all the other political parties?
Nigel Cecil, calling things out, as you like it, especially for his fair-minded friends.
Hello, Chuckabat is welcome. Nigel Farage sitting back, taking it easy and having a little laugh looking at all the other political parties and saying thank you. Can you imagine? Well, I certainly can, because they are offering Nigel the prize. They're just giving everything to Nigel without even realising what they are doing. The Conservative Party are having a race decision time to choose their new leader. But there again, you knew that, didn't you? No, they didn't know it, you see. This is the problem. The Conservative Party seem to think that others are interested, but they're not really. Paul has sent us a copy of the leaflet sent out to party members to encourage them to vote for Kemi, and also the one for Robert, also sent out to party members. And when you look at the debate last Thursday on GB News, decision time, the race to lead the Conservative Party, what was the reaction the following day in mainstream media? You had to search. There was nothing. So Nigel saying, look at this, they've had a TV programme on the channel on which Nigel works. And they've still had no publicity in the general media. In fact, during the past week, regardless of GB News, look through the media. Well, search and you will find, but you have to search. The only thing that made the headlines was not actually the leadership race, it was the comments about Kemi Badenoch not being able to look after her family properly. So when you think about it, the Conservatives, to many, are now a spent force. But what are they doing? They're arguing, from Robert's point of view, about policies. They've put first, we have to leave the ECHR. And it's got change, win, deliver. Look at the leaflet. You are saying, Nigel, that's a chip off the old block, showing how politicians have always presented themselves. Whereas Kemi, you're saying, a chip off the new block. Vote Kemi for renewal. You have to search on here for anything that really says Badenoch in big letters. It's a more personal message to the members. They are members, so hello, I'm Kemi. Now, which approach do you think is more modern and more grassroots upwards? You said, though, Kemi says renewal. We understand where that's coming from, but a couple of you have said, Nigel, we think that should be revival. A revival because the Conservative Party have lost their way. They don't really know what they stand for anymore. And this is why Nigel's laughing, Nigel Farage that is, because the other political parties seem to have lost their way as well. Ask Labour, the SNP, the Liberal Democrats, what they stand for. And they'll reel out policies. But policies aren't a belief. They're not your principles. They are your songs. Because I've mentioned many times that when it comes to media communication and coaching training sessions, I've always been motivated by a belief that music is the universal language of communication, and the way the pop stars in the first division operate, it has a lot to teach the politicians. I mentioned this before, Taylor Swift. Yes, I'll mention Taylor Swift because my favourite record has always been, even given the modern stuff, 2014. You know, we never go out of style. Style. But the Conservatives have definitely gone out of style. And how many members of the political parties nowadays will acclaim their political party in the same way that fans acclaim their celebrities who they support? You see, what celebrities, they recognise that songs, well, everyone who supports them can join and sing the song, but not every song. It's their belief in the celebrity that carries them along. Fans will come together and say, I don't like that record. I don't like that song. Nigel, you like that one from 2014. Look at the modern stuff. So they'll argue about the songs, but they still love the artist. And that's why they say artists fade away. But the political parties nowadays are doing a jolly good job of disappearing overnight because they've forgotten what unites them. Which is why amongst our supporters, the majority is still for Kemi Badenoch, because they're saying we need to renew, we need to revive what the party stands for, its beliefs. Policies are no more than songs. You can argue about the policies, you can discuss them, but at the end of the day, you believe in the principles of the Conservative Party. So that's why it comes to a choice between Kemi and Robert. Is it policies and putting them forward now? Well, just think about it. We're going to leave the ECHR, says Robert, policy. Who cares? When you deliver it, when are you able to deliver it? 2030? Because now you've just become a campaigning organisation, sending out messages to all the members, emails, sign this campaign, sign this petition, because you need to demonstrate support, because in terms of real supporters, where have they all gone? And they're not just going to come back about a policy. And of course, this is where Nigel Farage may have a problem, because at the moment, do we know what the Reform Party stands for? But it's holiday time. They only formed a few years ago, so everyone is forming what Nigel and his friends are all about. What? Oh, you want me to come back? Hillary's saying I ought to apply the principles of music to Nigel's and the Reform Party. OK, we'll accept the challenge. Video next time, in 48 hours or so, we'll do a little number, as they say. Who cares again? But it's all creativity, it's all a bit of fun. On behalf of Nigel Farage, we'll launch their image in music. See what we come up with. But of course, a winning team is a happy team. So those of you who are going to vote for the Conservative Party say, well, who brings me a sense of fun? One of my friends, 100, who I spoke to a couple of months ago, said, even during the war, we had fun. One of the things they did, the ladies, when they went out, was to, look the part. They had to dress up. But there were no nylons. Nylons were in short supply. And in those days, not just tights, everyone wanted to wear nylons. And you know what they did? They got gravy browning and painted it on their legs. Then they got a mascara pen and they drew a line down the back of the legs to show where in those days the line of the nylon joining showed. So they could stroll along at night looking as though they got nylons on. But then, of course, if it rained, everything started to run down. But they had fun. A winning team is a fun team. Do the Conservatives know how to laugh anymore? Well, we'll leave that one with you. But if you are a Conservative, maybe you'll be tempted to vote. But it still stands that whilst, unfortunately, some of our fair-minded and equitable friends are still not convinced that either of the candidates are first division, on balance, they think, still saying 70% for Kemi and 30% for Robert. We need to give them a quick message, a Nigel Cecil message of how to communicate, putting the psychology of pop music first and foremost. But now to Nigel Farage, do join me when in the next video, Nigel, if you're sitting back saying thank you to everyone, but I know you can also be energetic and enthusiastic. We're taking on the challenge. Challenge. Who cares? Well, but we're having a little bit of fun. So join me again, please. Let me know what you think by emailing our email address. And next time is going to be Nigel Farage. What tune will they be dancing to? Join me again. Thank you.